In today's video, we are going to be making homemade marshmallows, and I'm going to be giving you an update from the last time I made videos. So I use 1 cup of water. Now this will make a whole 9x13 pan of marshmallows. So this is large family, but you can cut it in half, or even, well, I wouldn't quadruple it because mixing in the mixer might be a little much. Now I'm going to put 1/2 cup of gelatin. I like this gelatin. They do a glyphosate test. It's like lab tested to make sure. Okay, so then I put that on my mixer and I kind of just mix it up a little bit so that it's evenly incorporated in the water. And then I just let that sit. While that is blooming, I'm going to put 2 cups of maple syrup into a larger pot. It's going to like double in size. So you want to make sure that you have a pot big enough so that it doesn't boil over. Because I have done that multiple times. Because sometimes I won't have a big pot and then I'll just I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna make it work. It's gonna work. Because this is the one pot. I don't want to wash a pot. And then it never works. So see how little that is? It's like maybe 1/2 inch in the bottom of this pot. And I'm like fast and furious. Let's put it on high. Let's get this bad boy done because it can take a while for it to reach the temperature you want it to reach, which is 235. I like to buy organic maple syrup in a gallon container. You can get smaller containers at the grocery store, but I prefer to just go ahead and buy in bulk. I usually buy like 4 or 6 of these at a time, and then I just always have it. You can, if you want to go to this company, Bardwoods, you can buy in like a 5-gallon bucket. I've done that before, and then I put it into quart jars, but then you have to store it. So I've done like all sorts of different things. And this is what I found works best for our family, but there are lots of options out there for buying maple syrup. But I do like buying it in bulk as opposed to those little containers. I know this thermometer isn't like the most accurate for liquids. It's a meat thermometer, but it works well enough. So, I mean, we're already up to like 150-ish. So, and if you are using a thermometer like this, do not leave it laying in the pan. I did that once and I burned the back of it. So update. Let's see, when was so I felt like I quit making like cooking videos like this in 2016. I did do a GAPS diet in 2019. I did a series on GAPS diet. So since 2019, I've had a baby and we've remodeled our house. So in 2020, I got pregnant. Was it 2020? Yes, it was 2020. I got pregnant with our 5th child, Henry, and I had him in 2021. You can follow along with that if you want on our channel, on the Justin Rhodes channel. If you want to see all of that and see his birth story, it's up there. And then in 2022, Jonah ended up dislocating his hip. That was a whole ordeal. He ended up getting a full hip replacement in 2023. Also in 2023, we moved out of this house and completely remodeled it. I mean, we took off the roof, like it got wild. Way more than anticipated, as remodels do. See how high it's getting? It gets crazy. So we're at 217 right now. We're looking for 235. Getting to 217 is easy. It's like getting to 235 takes forever. Let's see, where else are we going with the update? Oh, my mom, she was diagnosed with ALS in 2022. Then in 2023, we moved out, we remodeled this entire place, and we moved in September. And then 2 weeks later, we had Hurricane Helene, which was intense and devastating to the lower part of our farm. But thankfully, everybody was okay. We're still cleaning up from that. We anticipate it'll probably be at least a year to finish everything. But the farm looks different, and it's gonna stay looking different because we're not going to put it back the way it was. And then in October, my mom passed away from ALS. That kind of brings us up to now. I know that's a pretty quick update, but I did want to update you guys. If you don't follow our other channel, and if you do want to know about any of those things, you can find out all about it over there. So I find that stirring it does make it better. It does make it go down. See, we're still, it just takes forever. So I find that when you crinkle up your parchment paper, it lays better in your pan. All right, and then I'm just gonna pour it in here. I'm gonna scrape the rest of this out, but I'm gonna get it started. All right, it can get messy. Just beware. Then you just mix it for 5 to 10 minutes. I know it's kind of a big time frame. I'm gonna say 5 minutes. Let's see what it says. The mixture is going to get more volume. It's just going to be more fluffy. And then I'm just gonna add some vanilla. I have a lot brewing, but I don't have any of my homemade vanilla, so just gonna pour in. So it's only been about 4 minutes. I find that I like it better when it's less whipped. Some recipes call for like 15 minutes of whipping, but I find it's easier to work with when it's not as whipped. And I feel like they turn out just as good, like after product. That is all there is to this. And then I just let this sit on the counter for 2 to 4 hours, and then I will show you what I do when I cut them up and how to save them. It's been about 4-ish hours, and the marshmallows have dried. I don't know what you call it, so I just say dried. Cured and what? Solidified. They've solidified, and it is like, it's like marshmallows. So it's sticky. And I use arrowroot powder, which is like a starchy type flour used frequently in gluten-free baking. And I just kind of like sprinkle it on it to kind of just make it so that it's a little easier to work with. And then I'll put some on my knife. And then you can just make them whatever size you want. And just cut them. Take this and then just chop it into smaller sizes. You can even make them like super tiny. How is it, Lily?
Good.
So you can make them smaller, like this. I like to kind of just toss them in some arrowroot just to kind of keep them from sticking together, because then they don't get weird. You can use powdered sugar if you would like. That's also an option. I'm going to cut some of these. You use powdered sugar, Lily? It's better. It's more sweet. So I'm going to cut some of these up, leave them big to put in for people just to eat. And then I'm going to cut some up small because we are going to put some in hot chocolate this evening. You could do cookie cutters, shapes, like whatever, stars or, whatever shape you were wanting to put it in to make a special occasion. I like to keep them in a bowl with a lid. I don't put them in the refrigerator because they kind of melt. But if you want to roast them, like over a campfire, my suggestion is to make them many days in ahead as you can, like 4 to 5 days ahead. And then you put them in paper bags. And then you kind of just let them like dry out. They roast much better that way. So that's pretty much what I do. If I don't have paper bags, which I frequently don't have paper bags, just make bags with like a stapler and parchment paper and then label them. So like when we go camping for a week, I'll do that. And then the kids know, like, on this day when we're camping, we eat this bag on this day. And it kind of just goes that way. So, I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can eat these. You can put them in hot cocoa. My friends' kids are always shocked when they eat them, and they're like, wow, these are really good. Like, just not expecting them to taste good, I guess. Because they're, you know, not the jet puff. Oh, that's not going to stay on now, is it? Another thing that you can do, that I've done in the past, is instead of making them into this, I put some into the cup, and then they just have like marshmallow cream, basically. And then, so like, if we're making, like, over the holidays, we made hot cocoa. And so I made a double batch of marshmallows like this. And then I just used an 8x8 pan. I poured what was, you know, poured enough into that to make it fill up. Then I had the rest of it. I just kind of took a scoop, put it into a cup, and then poured hot chocolate on it. So you don't even have to, like, wait for the marshmallows to set up if you're going to put them in hot cocoa, if you need the mixture right away. So that's it. It's pretty easy, and I hope you guys enjoyed this, and see you on the next one.